everyone, welcome back to Fruit in the Abide with Brittany. Today's video I will be specifically sharing some tips that really has helped me get to where I am in my recovery process from my foot surgery. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, so before I get started with the tips that are specifically for physical tips that are for recovery, my overall or number one tip that has helped me to recover is my relationship with God. So prayer, fasting, spending time with God, spending time in His Word, that my relationship with Jesus Christ has ultimately helped me. If I didn't know Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, if I didn't have a personal relationship with Him during this whole process, during this almost year-long process, I don't know where I would be. I would have lost hope. I would have been really discouraged. Not saying I never get discouraged, but I don't stay there because I know who my God is. And I know that He has my back. And I wouldn't be where I am today, even in this recovery, if I didn't have a personal relationship with Him. If I didn't know Him, if I didn't read His Word, if I didn't pray to Him, if I didn't talk to Him, if I didn't listen to Him, I would not be where I am. And I don't even want to think about where I would be mentally or even emotionally or even physically if I didn't know Him. So that is my first number one tip or suggestion that has really helped me kind of get through the recovery. Other like that's first because nothing else, like everything else falls after that. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. So that is what has my relationship with God, like, yeah, has helped me with my recovery. He is my healer. Like, even all the other tips that I incorporate or that I'm going to explain to you guys, like, if I didn't know Him, all that wouldn't even really matter, because He is the one who heals. So yes, I just want to share that with you guys first. So the first thing I'm going to cover is Incision Care. And back in August, I thought I had an incisional infection, but when I followed up with my doctor, after I took the antibiotics, when I followed up with my doctor in the beginning of September, he said I had a bodily reaction to the sutures, as I stated in my last video. But during this whole process, I've been treating it as an infection. So, of course, before you take any of this advice, ask your medical professional or medical doctor, surgeon, just about any other tips. But, of course, with any infection or anything that presents as an infection, you want to make sure you keep the incision area clean. I mostly did that just by bathing, just by showering. I didn't put any ointment on the incision. I didn't put any cream, anything on it. Like, I literally washed my feet. I dried it with a gauze, and then I covered it with this. I got this from Amazon, and it's basically like Tegaderm, or they call it transparent dressing, and a pad. And this is how it looked, and I really like this. I did change mine every day, which it can get a little bit expensive if you use like 1 or 2 a day, because only 10 come in a pack. I got this from Amazon. It was, I believe, like $5.96 on Amazon, but that's the cheapest that I found this kind of dressing. Like Tegaderm, like the clear transparent dressing, is just expensive. But this one worked well for me in helping me to cover my incision. It's comfortable. When you peel it off your body, it doesn't stick. Like, you know how some bandages stick, like feel like it's going to peel your skin off. This one didn't do that, so that's why I just like kind of pay the money for this one. And I'm gonna insert a picture of like how it looked on my foot. And on the back it give you instructions on how to apply it. But basically it says it's supposed to be waterproof, but I found that it's not that waterproof, or maybe I didn't like really seal it. If it's any like a little crack in the clear part, if you don't seal it completely, then water can leak in. But for the purpose of mine, I just wanted to keep my incision covered, like when I put socks on, so that the incision wouldn't rub up against the sock or the cotton of the sock. And this is what I found that helped me the most. I tried other methods like using tape and then gauze, like putting gauze over the incision and taping it and all that, but this is just this is just one step. So this is what really helped me. And like I said, I put nothing on the incision. I literally cleaned it when I bathed, and that's it. I didn't put no Vaseline on it. I learned my lesson. I didn't put no, I'm just now starting to put cocoa butter on the incision since it's completely closed. But yeah, that's how I basically care for the incision. So that's my tip for that. And this is called All Health Transparent Dressing and Pad. And if I can find the link, I will put the link below. All right, so the next topic that I'm going to talk about is swelling. So, swelling has been a problem for me, and it still is a problem, but it's not as bad. So, these are the things that I have done that has helped me with the swelling. And you can implement, all these tips, or you can implement, pick and choose what you want to implement, as long as you check with your medical professional, your surgeon, whoever, before you implement any of the tips that I'm about to give you, just as a disclaimer. So swelling, the first tip that I have is icing. I don't really have a schedule for icing. I generally just ice throughout the day, or whenever I feel like my feet is kind of achy or needed, or if it's swollen. But after I do any type of exercise, I ice my foot. And usually I'll ice it with my foot elevated. That helps too. So icing is my first tip. And what I have been doing, or this trick that I have found, or I don't even know if it's a trick, but it's something that I discovered, is I usually use the gel packs, or like the flexible gel packs. I wrap it around my foot, and then I use a sock that stretches pretty good, and then I pull the sock like over the gel pack over my foot, and I like just put it on over there, and then that really helps keep the ice pack in place for the amount of time you need to be put in place. All right, so I hope you guys can see this. I'm try to demonstrate for you. So this is the gel pack I use. I got it from Amazon. It's called, I don't know if you can see it, Rester's Choice. It's pretty good. You can use it with heat and ice. So what I do is I take the gel pack. This is flexible. I wrap it around my foot. If you guys can see, I got the camera, my phone, in a different angle. So I wrap it around my foot like so. And then I take a sock that stretches pretty good, and I open the sock up, wrap it around my foot, lift my foot, and then just pull the sock over like that. All right, so as you can see, my whole foot is completely covered with the ice gel pack, so my whole foot is getting iced. And it stays in place like if I move my foot like that. So I just wanted to show you guys that technique that I used, because I found that when I used the ace wrap, put an ace bandage or something around to keep the ice pack in place, it just wasn't working for me. And this way your whole foot is getting like even distribution of the coldness from the ice because it's covering your whole foot. So that is a tip that has really helped me with icing. Another thing that I do that helps with the swelling is it's a yoga pose. I don't know the yoga name for it, but basically it's called legs up the wall. And basically, I'm going to see if I can insert a picture, but your bottom is pressed up against the wall and your legs are up against the wall. And basically you just lay like that. In some pictures like your palms are up, but really during that time I either relax or listen to some music, or I read like a book or something, and I usually keep my legs elevated like that for about like 20 minutes. Now you can just lay like that. Really what that does is it gets in the foot, there's not really good blood supply in the foot anyway, so that really helps get your blood flowing back down towards your heart, and it helps to push down some of the fluid from your foot when you have it elevated above your heart like that. Now while you're laying there, you can just lay there, or what helps even more to get the fluid and the blood pumping is to do like some ankle pumps while your feet is elevated, or you can do some like toe scrunches just to get that fluid from either your ankles if your ankles are swollen, or your foot if your foot is swollen. So that has really been helping me. I also sleep with my legs elevated. I think in a previous video I showed you guys the pillow that I purchased from Amazon that allows me to elevate my foot. Since then, because I've been doing more activity and the swelling and everything, I've added like maybe a couple more pillows just to get that extra elevation. Now, since my body is more comfortable now, my foot sometimes don't end up elevated by the time I wake up. Like it sometimes be all over the place, and sometimes I wake up with my foot in pain because my body is more comfortable. At first I was really guarded with my foot, but now I'm not as guarded. So that's another tip, is to sleep with your feet elevated, and that helps. That way in the morning your foot it's like a fresh start with the swelling. My foot still has some swelling in the morning, but it's not as much when I do sleep with my feet elevated. So those are the main things that has helped with the swelling. I've tried compression socks, and the compression sock, I ordered some from Amazon. Maybe I didn't get like the right ones, but it didn't really, I found that it didn't really help me. If anything, it kind of seemed like my foot was like even more swollen. Maybe I didn't get the right compression measure for my foot, but it just didn't really work for me. And it was kind of causing a little bit more pain because of the squeezing. So yeah, but I did read and was told that compression socks can help with swelling in your feet and like in the lower part of your body. But I found that it just didn't really like work as much for me. Like I feel like I can kind of do without it at this point. Maybe later on, maybe if I get a different type of sock, it might help a little bit more. But basically the compression socks help to push that fluid again back towards the heart. So that's one thing you may can try. Another thing that I've tried, and these are all not in one day. Now, the icing, I do that every day. Putting my feet up the wall, I try to do that at least once a day, at least. But now that I'm more active, um, I don't do it as much, but I probably need to do it a little bit more just to keep the swelling down. Another thing that helped a little bit is contrast baths, and you can look on Google or you can even look on YouTube of specific instructions on how to do that, or ask your doctor on specific instructions on how to do the contrast bath. But basically, you alternate between hot and cold water, and you end with the cold water because the cold water restrict your blood vessels and supposed to reduce inflammation. So, I tried that a couple of times, usually before I go to bed, and it helped. It helped. It I don't think it made like a significant, like with the compression socks, didn't make a significant difference in the swelling. And another thing that I've tried, I haven't been really consistent with it, but when I do it, it do help with the swelling, and that is, I looked on YouTube for just how to reduce swelling in the feet, and this is how I got like these tips, y'all. So if you want, and also from the person that has been like coaching me and helping me, but YouTube, yes, is lymphatic massage, and it was a video on YouTube that talk about like lymphatic massage, and the lymphatic point to reduce swelling in the feet. And so I've tried that while my legs elevated, with my leg up, and try to like massage the fluid down my foot. And that, yeah, so that's one thing that I've done, that I'm not real consistent with it, but it's something that I have tried, and it do helps, and it just feels good with the massaging your foot. So that's that. And so that's what I've been doing to help with the swelling. I even have kind of like a night routine, just to help with the swelling, since during the day I'm more active around the house, or just more active in general. If I have to go somewhere, or I'll be on my feet a little bit more throughout the day. So I kind of do like a night routine to help with the swelling, and that includes night stretching. So this getting into my next tip, which is to be active during your recovery. And of course, when you're first recovering, you want to get rest, but then as the resting period is coming to an end, you want to be more active, or do activities that are within your limits. So I'm moving into kind of my next tip, but just because it all goes along with, this tip goes along with helping with the swelling and everything like that, I'm gonna go into it. So the next tip that I have, or something that I've been doing that really has been helping me, is at night I kind of have like this night routine where I do stretching. And really what I stretch is like my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my feet, and I focus on that mostly. Just because your hips, your back, your core, your knees, your calves, all that has to do with walking, not just my foot. So I've been really doing this night stretching routine, and I said I'm about like, I do it probably about like 4 times a week, or maybe even 5 times a week, depending on the week. Um, but basically, I can put a video of the kind of stretching and stuff that I do if you guys want to see it. But you can also look on YouTube for like hip stretches, knee stretches, or just different floor stretches to do. And I do that, you guys. And while I'm stretching, I put on this station that I found on Pandora, which has instrumental hymns. Y'all, like, it is so relaxing. Like, it's so relaxing, and it even helps just get you ready for bed. But And it's just like a nice, like, settle down from like your day, even if you don't have like a lower body injury or an injury at all. I feel like I want to keep doing that even after I'm fully recovered, doing like stretching at night while listening to the instrumental hymns. That's just really so relaxing to me. So that is one thing that I have been doing that has been helping me. And so at night, what I'll usually do is like stretch, listen to the instrumental hymns, and then put my foot up the wall, like the legs up the wall, the yoga pose after I stretch. Um, and then sometimes ice while I'm laying in the bed, or sometimes not ice, depending on just how I feel, or if I have the ice up here upstairs and everything like that. And that's kind of like the night routine that I I'm most consistent with. The lymphatic massage, or just massaging my feet, I do that. I'm not really consistent with doing that as I am with the stretching and the legs up the wall, and the icing. So yes, that's one thing that has really helped. The next, and that kind of, like I said, going to my next tip is to stay active. So, in the beginning of my recovery process, when I was just getting a little bit more active before I even went to physical therapy and everything, I started doing non weight bearing because I was still in the boot, still on the crutches. I was doing non weight bearing floor exercises, and you can look on YouTube what kind of exercises to do. But basically, that is what I would do, just to get my body moving, get my core strength in, and that helped. So as I started to be less guarded with my foot and just more comfortable. Now I'm at the point where I'm doing chair aerobics. And so, what I love to do anyway is dance. So, what has been hurting me a little bit with this whole foot injury is that I'm not able to dance like I like to, but I'm still able to move my body. So, I found chair Zumba, chair dance aerobics, chair aerobics, chair exercise on YouTube, and I do that. And that's so much fun for me. Like, I love dancing, so that's fun for me. That's something that I look forward to doing most of the time. And so that's another tip, is to find something that works for you. Find something that interests you, or that you know that you will stick with. Since I love to dance, I'm consistent with doing the chair Zumba. But if it was something that I didn't really look forward to, then I probably wouldn't do it as much. So try to find something that works for you to help you stay active, whatever that may be, and whatever is within your limits, within your precautions, or whatever it may be. So, yes, cheer dancing has really been helping me. And so, what I usually do is, the days that I don't have physical therapy, I do the chair dance routine, and then I do the exercises that the physical therapist instructs me to do, because his exercises are more like weight bearing, more balance, more stretching my feet out and everything like that. So I like to do the aerobic exercises before I even start that, because it get the blood flowing and loosen stuff up. So it'd be easier for me to stretch my foot and everything like that. So that's another tip, is even before you do like just plain stretching, maybe do a little bit of aerobic activity to get your blood flowing, so that your tissues and everything will be a little bit more flexible. It might help a little bit. It's still painful for me to stretch my foot out, but it helps a little bit when everything is a little bit more loosened up. So, they are the tips that I have that has been helping me. Remember, before you take any of these tips into consideration, ask your surgeon, ask your doctor, follow your precautions, So this is a disclaimer: do not incorporate any of these tips until you ask your medical professional. The last tip that I have is specific to the toe surgery that I had, is that I stated that one of the cautions of it is that you may be at risk for bunion formation. So I'm going to insert a clip of the spacers that I've used that has really helped keep my foot in proper alignment. And yes, I'm going to insert a clip right here. Okay, so I think in one of my other videos, I was talking about like one of the possible complications of getting the tibial sesamoid bone taken out of your foot is you may get bunion formation, and in order to prevent your toe from going inward or prevent bunion formation, the doctor recommended that I use spacers, and he specifically recommended that I use the silicone ones. Really, they were really the only ones that I kind of found on Amazon, but these are the kinds that I have been using, and I'm going to show you in a minute just how they look on the foot. The one that I prefer in particular, especially now that I'm walking more on my foot, is this middle one. Sorry if it looks, it is used, but most of, like, the lint from the sock is on here, but this is the one that I prefer when walking, only because this one, and I'm gonna show you guys in a minute, this one has to go around like the second toe in order to push your big toe outward. And what can happen is, it's like if your toe sweats, or it can kind of get irritated from it just rubbing around like the whole toe, and that's kind of what happened to me. So I found this one, and this one works really well. So right now I'm just going to show you how it looks on the foot. I'm going to try to leave the link below just in case if you guys want to purchase it, and it's also good if you have bunions. I don't have bunions, but it helps with bunion. The purpose is to prevent bunions or to correct bunions. So if you have bunions or bunion surgery, yeah, check these out. So this one, like I said, I'm gonna see if I can show you guys really quick just how it looks. So this is my feet right now without any spacer. As you can see, like if you don't have a spacer, it can kind of like grow inward, and that's not good. So excuse my feet, you guys, like I need a pedicure, but it's all good. So yeah, so this is how this one works, and actually I like this one better, like I said, for walking, because it's like you really don't even feel it, and it's more flexible. You can move your foot around a lot more with this one. So that's the one that I prefer. The next one, these are the same kind, but they're in different sizes. So it depends on how far out you want to space your toes. I think these can be used on your other toes, but yeah, I'm only using it for the purpose of the big toe. So the big one, so they work the same. So I'll show you guys if I can actually get it on with one hand. So it fits around your second toe like this. And as you can see, it pushes the big toe outward to prevent it from curving in. Now, the reason why I said I like the other one before, like I said, was because I found that like this one was kind of irritating my toe, especially like if you're doing exercises and your feet starts to sweat. It's just irritating, but it does its job at pushing the big toe outward. And I feel like this one pushes the big toe outward more. So in a case of like bunions, I feel like this one might be a little bit better because it actually pushes it out to prevent it from curving in. So I just wanted to show you guys that, because that is something that has been helping me keeping my toes spaced, and they're comfortable. It's like a silicone material, and it's they last pretty good, and you can wipe them down. They're easy to clean. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that also. And yes, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other questions, if you want me to post a video of the night stretching or night routine that I do to help with the swelling, you can leave a comment below. Other than that, you can really find the videos on YouTube that may help or that may interest you. And yes, that is it. All right, so I forgot to say, see you in my next video. Bye.